Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Let me take off windowed mode like I have to every time I turn this game on. Hello. We're back with Werewolf the Apocalypse Purgatory, and I'm super excited to play. I can never get the sound quite right because it's either too loud or too quiet, and that's a me problem. But yes, we're almost done with this game. We're over halfway done. We're at 68%. We didn't quite make it to the fun internet number. We're in the Bovisa Forest with Maya. We convinced them that Andre and the Wolffather pack are bad guys. And let's see, we are supposed to get our brother who is fleeing to Poland, but he doesn't want us to come find him. So instead we're going to try and find Andre, the head of the Wolffather pack. We killed a couple of his people on the train ride to the forest. That was fine and fun. I'm at 5 depression, but I have 2 willpower, so I can't complain, and I won't. I refuse. And it still says that I'm Hispo, even though I'm not. I'm Hamid, and I've been Hamid for quite a few scenes now, but it won't switch me back. I don't know how to make it switch me back. We talked to a nice reporter while in your dire wolf form. Yes, that's right, Jerry. Very good. I blinked at her with my giant dire wolf eyes. And she just really liked me, and she could also understand me. It's fine. Don't question it. Here's a weasel here on the floor. Yeah, so we're with Maya, who was the character we played in Heart of the Forest, and we're off to find Andre. So, and how we're doing so, don't know yet. Craning my neck so fast I felt it twinge, I stared at the interloper, a sleek white weasel who returned my glance boldly. Its fur was near identical to the snow around us, which is undoubtedly why we had not seen it approach. It tilted its head, staring back at me with small, adorable black eyes. Adorable, that is, until it grinned, baring its mouth to reveal viciously pointed teeth. Ooh, and it's a spirit, and it's gonna talk to us, yay! Cool, that Sierra guest started here. Stop. We're gonna get back to, as soon as we finish this, which is why I'm starting a little early today, we're gonna get right back to the adventures of Sierra in Book of Hungry Names, and maybe someday I'll finish that game. It's so long. It spoke in a strangely by the way, Sierra is known as Gaia's deadliest weasel. It spoke in a strangely electronic voice, like an AI reading of a text. Welcome, children of Gaia. Creepy. Hello, Winter Weasel, Maya said. The weasel turned its gaze to her with a giggle. I see you brought me some guests, little Garu. This weasel seems unhinged. Well, I have to say that. I'm not a ragabash, but I have to say that. Yeah, this weasel was definitely unhinged. Maya seemed comfortable enough around it, but then again, she didn't have it sitting on her shoulder. The weasel grabbed onto my ear with its tiny claws, and I shuddered, resisting the urge to toss it from my shoulder. I do not normally get involved in the affairs of the Garu. Its black eyes glinted as it spoke. However, those little wolves have strayed from the path of Gaia, and Pusha Białowiska does not take kindly to that. I'll never be able to say this right. Obviously the Wolffather pack. The Wolffather pack, I asked, feeling the weasel stiffen. Ah, the Wolffather pack. So that is their name. I see it now. Were we not supposed to tell him? What does that mean? I asked curiously, but Olga interrupted. It means, and Olga's a friend of Andre's, and she was not happy that the Cairn or the Sept were not on board with getting rid of Andre. It means nothing, she said irritably. They like to speak in cryptic nonsense riddles, that's all. High depression makes me agree with her. Great. Winter Weasel's warning. The Winter Weasel warned you that there are wolves in the forest who have strayed from the path of Gaia. She was probably right. Alexander and Olga began discussing what the Winter Weasel had just told us, but I felt a familiar feeling of panic rising within me as my mind tossed over the new information. Andre and his wolves were here, perhaps even watching us now. 2 small paws rested upon my hair as the Winter Weasel gently put its weight upon my head, a faint energy emanating from the spirit. Yeah. Alright. I could get a 3rd willpower. I could stay depressed and get a 3rd willpower. I'm happy. You know what? I'm happy to have 2, and I'm fine being slightly less depressed. Ooh, and it made the forest like me. An aura of hope that dispelled some of the worries that had gathered. Then the energy faded. The winter weasel's quiet voice whispered in my ear. Listen, young Garu, I have seen Hirano afflict many in my time. Its roots run deep, twisting and gnawing at both the wolf and human within, but you must fight against it. I don't wanna. The weasel gave a final pat of my hand, then hopped off my shoulder. So good luck. It giggled as it ran away, its fur blending into the snow until it had disappeared from sight. They are a pack leader, I said in disbelief. Why would we think that? Were we told that? I don't remember. Maya laughed. I get it, but trust me, for all their shortcomings, you want someone like the Winter Weasel on your side. What shortcomings? They seem great. I'd absolutely vote to make them my pack leader. Together, we trudged into the forest. In order to cover more ground, we shapeshifted into our lupus forms. I'm already in my Hispo form. Now I'm in lupus, okay. My arms and legs cracked and twisted, my changed shape, fragments of bones crawling under the skin. It's not that much of a change, it's just a little smaller. My skin was rippling and sprouting fur. I growled and thrashed. Then I was a wolf, seeing the world in smells and sounds, part of a pack, the perfect animal. We made our way through the forest, searching for their scent. Oh my god, my health! I should have taken that extra health. The going was slow, and I could feel the cold biting to my very marrow as we trudged through the snow. At last, Alexander picked up on the scent. We instantly took off, following it north. The problem now was what exactly we were going to do once we found them. My wisdom is super high, so... We needed to be cautious and avoid detection. We were only there to gain information about their plans. Snowflakes interlaced with my fur, the forest stretching far back on either side of us as we ran through a path crafted by the Bovisa Garu of ages past. The rows of trees on either side of us seemed endless, the snow-laden branches creating a mirage effect with the dark wood. Bovisa Forest abruptly gave way to a wide plain, the thin grasses and scraggly leaf-shorn bushes nearly smothered by the thickly piled snow. Glacial winds whipped across its surface, unencumbered and free as they doused us in layers of snow. The forest freaking loves us, and I love that for me. The wind shifted, pressing against our backs as if urging us forwards. The winds carried with them a faint scent. I sniffed the air. A wolf that seemed oddly familiar. I needed to find out more. I barked to the others before, veering off the path to follow the scent. It grew increasingly more intense, a fresh, earthy odor reminiscent of the forest loam in the summer. Particularly unusual considering it was the end of winter. We raced through heavy snowdrifts up a hill, arriving at the top to find a serene winter scene spreading below us. Dark blue waters serpentined through the ivory snow, a gray stone bridge arcing gracefully above the flowing river. Drawing near, I saw a wolf spirit stood atop it, gazing out at us. Racing forward, I could just make out a sort of spiritual energy to it, and then it was gone. Ooh, was that the wolf mother spirit? That's right, that's right. They have a sister pack, or something, that I forgot about. I know even if all my packmates hate me, at least the trees like me. Jerry? I'm sorry. I stand by that statement 100%. Was that the wolf mother spirit you mentioned? I asked Maya, but she shook her head, looking confused. No, if that was the wolf mother, you'd know it, Maya said with a grim bark. Plus, it's not like her to just appear and disappear like that without a word. If no one in this game likes me but the forest, I did it. I won the game. I want to check my wisdom. I got my glory soup. My honor is so low. I don't know why. My glory and wisdom are so high. Goodness. The scent of wolves grew stronger and stronger until at last we broke through into a wide clearing. Shedded fur and paw prints covered the ground, but no wolves. My anxiety grew as I exchanged a look with Alexander. If they weren't here, then where the hell were they? I investigated the area, finding the majority of the paw prints were headed in the same direction. Maya walked around the perimeter, then recoiled back in surprise. "What is it?" I growled. She hesitated, sniffing once more, then sitting back on her haunches, a puzzled look crossing her wolf face. "It's faint, but something about one of these scents seems familiar." Her fur rippled in a shrug. It may just be Andre's scent that I remembered. We checked the rest of the area, but nothing else of note appeared. We took off into the forest, following the trail of wolf tracks. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sorry. Winter Weasel wasn't part of the forest, weren't they? They were, now that I think about it. And I feel stupid for not remembering that. This run is not Klingon approved. Oh, God. Oh, man. We continued following the... What does this say? Granica Refugee Detention Center. Oh, great. We continued following the tracks of the Wolffather pack, the late morning sun replacing the falling snow when at last Maya indicated for us to stop. My rage is gone again. But at least it says I'm human up here again. We shapeshifted back to our Homid forms. Breaking out from the forest, we found an enormous, snowy fenced-in ground spread before us, a dark, ominous-looking building towering at its center. I knew several refugees who had ended up here, the Granica Refugee Detention Center. I stared at it in horror. They were infamous. The refugee detention centers housed men, women, and children in cramped, prison-like conditions. But why was Andre here? "They're here to attack the refugees," I growled in shocked rage. "We need to get in now." I began racing along the perimeter, eyes frantically scanning for a way in. Oh, my nose. There was a single entrance with an enormous iron gate and a bored-looking security guard. That the grounds themselves were silent and still, the snow untouched. I scanned the fencing, spying a camera up high on the fence. Indicating with my nose, I pointed it out to Alexander and Maya before we loped off to search for an area where the cameras did not reach. Reaching the side of the compound, Maya's eyes suddenly narrowed as she whispered, "My God, look, over there." Following her gaze, I saw wolf tracks in the snow, the deep indents matching ones on the other side of the fence. My heart sank. They were already here. Well, it's back to full depression again. Whoopsies. The refugees were in danger. We had to hurry, but I felt my panic rising. Maya shot me a surprised glance, but I quickly shook my head, steadying myself. "We need to make a plan to get inside," Alexander whispered. Why do I have to be in charge? Ooh, I have a gift. What's my gift? Doppelganger? I haven't... The ability to appear as another human or a werewolf. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. I forgot I had a gift. I knew I had one that I had already used. I forgot I had two. I told Maya and Alexander what I was about to do before heading deep within the shadows of the forest. I knelt to the ground and stretched forth my hands. The darkness immediately began to ripple as if by a breeze as the shadow spirits answered my call. From within, a form rose, rising high to take the shape of a border guard. Stepping forward, the shadows enveloped me as I felt my limbs twisting and stretching until the transformation was complete. I stretched briefly, getting used to the feel of this new form before heading back down towards Alexander and Maya. Even with the warning, they still seemed momentarily alarmed as I spoke in a low, gravelly tone. "We can go in through the main gate. I'll say I'm bringing you two in from the border." Despite a few harrowing seconds where the security guard questioned as to why we were on foot, to which I quickly replied that those damn trucks had dropped us off down the road, we were able to make it safely inside the detention center. Look, we did it. Once we were inside, the gift wore off, and we proceeded cautiously through the halls. So sorry, my nose is running. Hello, friends, welcome in. We moved through the halls, at last coming to a locked set of double doors. This time, Alexander quickly picked the lock, opening them to find crowds of refugees huddled shoulder to shoulder on the ground. The corridors became increasingly packed until we at last reached a set of doors that were propped open to reveal an auditorium. Within, every inch of the floor was covered in sleeping bags, blankets, and backpacks. The noise was overwhelming as people from all over the world sat, slept, or chatted amongst themselves. Ooh. Ooh. The living conditions were horrendous. A wretched smell was coming from a corner of the room where the bathrooms were located and compounded with the general stench of body odor that lingered in the air. I was relieved, however, to see that there were no signs of Andre and his wolf pack having been there. I'll keep watch at the front door, Maya said. I'm guessing most people here won't want to speak to a Polish-American woman. She retreated back to the corridor while Alexander and I started forward. We should speak with someone. Perhaps they might know something about Andre and his pack, Alexander said quietly, a concerned look on his face as he regarded the crowds of people. Splitting up, I approached a woman sitting on her own and greeted her. We spoke for several minutes as I half lied and said I was also a newly arrived refugee. Ooh, I have animal chem, that's right. That's right, I do. I took that. Has anyone seen any wolves? I asked, and she looked surprised. No, at least I haven't. They haven't let me out since I have arrived, although since the riots they've been letting people out more and more. Riots? She nodded, lowering her voice. People were unhappy with the conditions here, so they went on strike. The guards put it down right away, but at least now they are allowing us a bit more freedom. My mind raced with confusion. Why had Andre and his pack come this way? I realized the woman was still speaking as she said, I haven't been outside since I got here, she said softly, glancing at the guards. But I do know someone who was just out yesterday. Do you want to speak with her? Ooh. Why is it giving me the option to say no? Why is it giving me the option to say no? Saucy, perhaps? I'm gonna say sorry, I need to go. Because it's giving me the option, it makes me suspicious, and I'm a very suspicious person. I glanced at Alexander, who had finished talking with his person. He caught my eye and signaled towards the door. I'm sorry, I really should go. She looked confused. Go? Where? Oh, my friend and I need to find space to sleep. I quickly walked away before she could question further, catching up with Alexander. What did you learn? I asked as we stepped around sleeping bodies and tattered blankets to make our way back towards the doors. He had a grim look on his face as he responded. Andre and his pack haven't been here, which means they must have moved on elsewhere. I swore. Then we've just wasted our time here. Deception. Andre and the Wolffather pack pretended to enter the detention center in order to lead you into a trap. Yeah, exactly. We had nearly reached the double doors when we saw Maya gesturing rapidly for us to hurry up. As soon as we exited, she instantly took off, saying over her shoulder in an urgent tone, "We need to go." Hurrying up alongside her, I asked quickly, "Why? What's going on?" I overheard some guards talking about how they had received a tip-off about some terrorists, and from what they described, it sounded like you two. Alexander's face clouded with anger. So that's why those tracks led here. It's all been a trap. We were navigating back through the facility when an alarm began blaring through the halls. We instantly picked up the pace until the door we had first entered through at last came within view. Wrenching it open, we saw the exit sign blazing in darkness, and a guard beneath it, his rifle raised. Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah, you know what? I'm so sick of Alexander. You take care of it. You deal with it. So over him. Not that I was ever under him, but bumped. Alexander rushed forward, body slamming into the guard, who smashed backwards into the door. It flew open, the guard's unconscious body skidding across the snow. Damn, Alexander, remind me not to get on your bad side, I muttered before following after him as we sprinted across the grounds. I'm already on his bad side. Ooh, I got a bolt cutter. Escape the detention center without getting caught. Suck it, Sierra. Forest flight. Leave the refugee detention center. We raced through the woods. I expected any moment to hear the sounds of bullets cracking through the air. What we heard was far, far worse, as piercing howls reverberated through the chilled, wintry forest. Maya and Alexander shifted to their lupus forms. I shifted how? I don't have any rage. I have no rage. I have no reg. But I could be Hispo? Sure. Heavy. Nah, I'll join the pack. I'll join the group. I'll be lupus like everyone else. I was lupus, a wolf seeing the world in smells and sounds, part of a pack, the perfect animal. That's me, perfect. The Wolffather pack, I swore. Alexander snarled in agreement as he and Maya picked up their pace. I could not keep up because I felt myself falling behind, my lungs burning with every step. And Alexander doesn't wait for me because he doesn't like me. Whatever. They were too fast, and I watched them race further and further away. Suddenly, the triumphant howl of a lupus rang out beside me as their claws slashed into my side. I'm going to die. Oh God. Blood poured from the wound and panic rose within me as I heard the sounds of the rest of the pack drawing near. But the forest got my back. Don't worry, everyone. The trees got me. A strong breeze rushed through the trees with a typhonic force, screaming in my ears as it shoved me forward. I felt a burst of adrenaline course through me as I ducked through the woods, vaulting through the fallen trees until at last the howls faded away. Oops, I'm a human again. Luna's light brightly illuminated the snow-covered ground of the cairn as we stepped into the clearing. This is Olga, I think. An ominous stillness emanated from the group of Garu who were waiting for us. Maya walked up to them briefly everything that had happened at the detention center. Someone set you up? Daniel asked in astonishment. Who? Maya's grandfather was in the cult of Fenris, but she had told me that herself. Who do you think set us up? Andre set us up. Unfortunately, I knew how insidious the cult could be. Suddenly, Olga stepped forward, pointing an accusatory finger at Maya. Who other than the one whose grandfather is in the cult of Fenris? Ooh. Olga, unfriendly. I'm fine with that. But you're the one who's closest to Andre, I pointed out. A look of understanding dawned on Maya's face. And you knew we were headed where we were headed today. Plus, she continued, as much as I hate to say it, Olga, you have been acting weird lately. At this, why would you hate to say that? At this, loud arguments broke out amongst the Garu. Eventually, Maya joined us, running a hand through her hair as she sighed. Well, this is a mess, but it was bound to happen sooner or later. Just know that you've got my support still. High overhead, the Milky Way flung itself across the sky, a breathtaking display that made me suddenly, painfully homesick for the mountain nights back home in Afghanistan. Alexander and I were discussing what we would do next when I heard a scampering in the woods. Scampering? The winter weasel approached... The winter weasel wasn't heart of the forest. I'm like 90% sure now. When I keep saying winter weasel, it sounds more and more right. That I just had simply forgotten. The winter weasel approached, their white fur dark in the shadows of the trees. To my surprise, they seemed unusually serious as they beckoned me closer. I knelt down and they placed their paws on my knee. So cute. The wolves who hunted you, I followed their steps, silently and still. I heard them speak of plans, horrible plans, to hunt and kill tomorrow. Their eyes gleamed in the light of the fire, but not wolves this time, oh no, but humans. Alexander and I exchanged horrified glances. I turned back to the winter weasel, but they had gone. Alexander sighed. Damn it, I'll let Ilona know. Hopefully she and the other Warsaw Garu can get down here by tomorrow. He went off to call her. Oh yeah, we still have our brother. Obviously, our living brother. My mind wandered to thoughts of Tarek as something within began to call to me, telling me I needed to see the border. I messaged Alexander, then slipped away, my steps unconsciously leading me through the woods and back to the wall on the border. Gotta say, my brother. A silver scar. A rich darkness pervaded the ancient forest, the sounds of the night amplified as I made my way towards the border, tendrils of dread burrowing deeper the closer I drew. The shadowed line of trees abruptly broke as I stared out onto the violent gash. That word! I'm sorry, I have the humor of a 12-year-old boy. Onto the violent gash that cut across the land. In its midst, the barbed wire was no more, replaced by a metal wall that towered high above the broken ground. The light of Luna strained through the thin gaps in the metal plates, feebly exhaling its dying breath upon the untouched snow on the other side. Yeah. Let's approach it. As I cautiously approached, I noticed a single spiral of barbed wire still remaining at the top, eager to once more claim any that foolishly sought to climb its brethren below. Tomorrow I would finally be reunited with Tarek. I mean, does he even like us anymore? He didn't even want us to come see him. I hoped this time I would not fail. I stared at the wall, a glow to my left caught my eye. I started to run back towards the safe cover of the forest when I felt my steps falter, then stop. Uh-oh. Oh, it's that wolfy wolf again. Back where it began. Was this the thing that was talking to us when we were at the border the first time with our little brother before we murdered him by accident? The glow slowly approached, growing stronger and brighter. Not the bob of a flashlight, but something softer, warmer, until before me stood the form of a wolf. Spirit from my dream, spirit from the bridge. The bridge? I'm so bad. Pick dream. You're the spirit I saw in my dream, I breathed. It inclined its head in acknowledgement before speaking in a low, whispering growl. Follow me. It headed into Bovisa Forest, the soft gleam of the moonlight on its fur retained even within the darkness of the trees. Yeah, why wouldn't we follow it? Without hesitation, I followed the spirit, for I felt no malevolence emanating from it. They told me there were barrows in the Pusha. The voice broke the silence, wrapping around me as if in a dream. Graves of the ancients built thousands of years ago. The voice whispered, calling me forward. This voice that spoke of the dead of the past. And now Pusha has become a graveyard once more. This voice that spoke of the graves of the living. Layers of voices, a whisper, a cry, a pained howl that rang through the trees. Have you come to set us free? The trees parted and I stepped forward. The enchantment broke as I stared around me. The spirit had led me here, back to where it all began, and where it all had ended. The clearing lay before me, the snow crisp and unbroken as if no one had ever stepped foot within its space. As if blood had not painted its surface in violent crimson streaks those many months before. Why are we here? I asked angrily, my voice splintering through the silence. I turned to the wolf, but it just inclined its head. Then, with a terrifying suddenness, its body faded to liquid shadows that dissolved into the earth. Before I could move, the shadows exploded forth, winding past my frozen legs, up my torso and head, till they had consumed me whole. Back where it ended. I opened my eyes. What the hell? I was still in the clearing. Run! That's what we do in Werewolf when things go wrong. We run. I needed to return back to the cairn and away from that psychotic wolf. I took off running. So judgmental. Took off running, footsteps pounding into the snow, into the dirt, into the mud as I waded my way back to the clearing. Water dripped from the trees, a freezing rain drenching the area in a violent downpour. A wolf appeared in the midst, a being of pure spirit this time, and I now recognized exactly where I had been sent. The Umbra. Follow me, it whispered again. Oh, because I have high sadness, I follow it? I can't resist. Oh, God. I followed it, wading across the clearing and into the trees as the rain abruptly stopped. Too late, I realized that this was not the same wolf spirit from earlier. Its mouth split into a wide grin that spread unnaturally from ear to ear, its fangs glistening, dripping with blood as it launched forward with a loud snarl. Oh, God. I darted out of the way. It landed where I had stood, whirling to face me as its eyes lit with an insane fury. Stand and fight. Like hell I would. I'm a runner. I'm a track star. I turned, racing back through the trees. What was that? It had not seemed like the same spirit from earlier. I shoved through the trees, chest heaving until I had broken through them, finding myself back in the clearing once more. A rustling noise sounded to my left, and I whirled towards it, my eyes widening in shock as I broke through the clearing, Katsim by my side. 2 guards stepped ominously forward onto the snow, then 2 behind. Oh, God, I must protect Katsim. I'm losing it, everyone. I'm losing it. Get away, I shouted. I rushed forward, but every step that took me closer moved them further away. Then my other self was shifting once more to Krynos. Oh, God, I'm like just reliving but I look awesome doing it. I'm just reliving like the worst night of my life. The night that makes me depressed and keeps me depressed. To Krynos, a creature of nightmares that shredded through the guards in front of her. No, I gasped for what I knew was coming next. I watched, unable to look away, as my wolf eyes turned crimson. The moment when I had no longer been able to tell friend from foe. The moment when I had destroyed every living being within that clearing. Ooh. Yeah, I think because I'm super Delulu right now, I would try and stop it. I had to stop it. I rushed forward, bracing myself as my own claws slashed down at me. They sliced through my body as if it was air, digging into the figure behind me. I dropped to my knees, gasping for air, unable to look behind me. It was an accident, Katsim said gently. Run. Can't catch me, feelings. Can't catch me, depression, if I just keep running. I raced into the woods, running until the trees returned to normal and the night sky above resumed its starry glow, until I had run myself ragged. Unable to confront the truth. The last goodbye. I'm gonna stay depressed. Sad forever. Oh my god. Wow. So let's see how many players made the same choice as you. None. I ignored Tark. Okay, hang on. He said, don't contact me. And already we had not a great relationship because he is like, kind of, you know, not a big fan of werewolves. So I was just respecting his wishes. I thought that he would appreciate that, but apparently literally no one agrees with me. Amazing. No one agrees with any of the decisions that I make. You investigated the spiritual energy. Only 38% did that. You investigated the detention center on your own. Only 19% did that. You weren't captured in the detention center. Only 36%. And you supported Maya. Who's supporting Olga? Really? No. I'm just so unique and quirky. I'm not like other girls. We are the none percent. That's us. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you so much, Mr. Bill. Here we are, folks. We're in the final chapter. Told you I'd be able to do it. Wow. What is our percentage? 83%? God. A red sun falls. The day dawned bright and clear, the skies overhead a brilliant sprawling sea of blazoning cerulean, a day of fierce pride. Hey, I lost 2 Hirano, gained 2 health. Not a bad deal from running away from my problems. A day of fierce pride as I welcomed the Warsaw Sept. I looked for Ilona, but one of the werewolves told me that she had to stay to manage the cairn. She sent a gift of another point of willpower. I am not playing as a Silent Strider. I am playing as a Glasswalker. The Garu handed over a small amulet from her. As I placed it around my neck, I felt my will strengthening, fortified for the battle to come. We made our preparations. I am playing... Let me show you my whole sheet here. My head's kind of in the way. I am... Oh, good lord. What's all this? I am a Glasswalker Theurge, and my pack name is Baleful Otter because I think that's super funny. I'm very glorious and very wise, but not very honorable. I have a beer bottle in my inventory and a heat sensor. I'm the best werewolf in the world. Everyone thinks I'm great. And by everyone, I mean just the forest, people. Just the forest thinks I'm super great. Even when I don't bring up Fallout, Fallout still shows up on Steam. Yeah. My desktop wallpaper, yeah, I know. You have the Glasswalker tribe glyph tattooed on your ankle? That is so cool. I unpicked Glasswalker. Glasswalker is not my favorite tribe, and I like the Glasswalkers just fine. But I picked Glasswalker because I wanted to play a Theurge, because I love Theurges, but I thought being like a techno, I think they refer to it as shaman here. Techno shaman, techno Theurge, urban Theurge, is probably my favorite concept for werewolf, overall. So, and if I were to play werewolf, I'm a storyteller most, like 99% of the time, but if I were invited to a werewolf game, I would request to play a Glasswalker Theurge because I think it's so cool. The Garu handed over a small amulet from her. As I placed it around my neck, I felt my will strengthening, fortified for the battle to come. We made our preparations. Ba, ba, ba. Katja had called earlier this morning, letting me know she had spoken with Tarek again. He had reluctantly told her that he was planning to cross that evening, but he would not tell her where. Is this what I mean? What am I supposed to do here? And to be fair, when they were like, oh, well, should we go after Andre or should we go out to the border to see if Tarek is there? I picked the Tarek one, even though he said, don't call me, don't talk to me. I picked the Tarek one. And it wouldn't, and both Alexander, because he's mad at me for whatever reason, said no. And Maya said no and broke the tie. So what am I supposed to do about that? Make Alexander like me? I'd rather die. Oh, God. She suspected that he had not wanted me to get involved. It was frustrating, but instead we would go to the border camp area and attempt to find him by scent. Kaja had encouraged me, and I lose more Harano. God, getting happier by the minute over here. Although Kaja was frustrated she could not make it, speaking with her nevertheless filled me with a renewed hope and determination. The clear, calm skies of the afternoon suffused to a darkening gray as dusk overtook Bovisa Forest, a low, misty fog rolling in on its coattails. Despite the grim covering of leaden clouds, the sun had managed to burn a hole through to coat the cairn in a defiant, fiery glow. That's a weirdly written sentence. Oh, God, I don't care about Alexander. I regret every day of my life since I started this game. I regret going with Alexander. I so do. I could tell Alexander was tense. No wonder considering who we were facing today. I attempted to speak with him, but he just told me shortly that he was busy, and so I let it go. Whatever. I don't care. The preparations were at last complete, and we only waited now upon the Bielowiska Garu. So over him. Like, go away. Like, go back to Warsaw and leave me alone. Maya would lead... I'm going to stay at this cairn. I'm not going back to Warsaw. Maya would lead us today. Maya joined us in the cairn, already in her lupus form. I have 5 willpower. That's the most willpower I've had since ever. A large group of the Bielowiska Garu accompanied her. They growled at us in greeting. Then Maya indicated the woods with her head. She shook off the rest of us, shifting, and I followed suit. Lupus. Krynos, and then I murder everyone. I was Lupus, a wolf, seeing the world in smells and sounds, part of a pack, the perfect animal, as I've said before. I like calling myself a perfect animal. I'm super into it. The burning sun dipped below the horizon in one final searing blaze before being replaced by nightfall. Maya led us through the dense woodlands until we at last reached within sight of the border camp, maintaining a cautious distance as to not alert the guards. We spread out, sniffing the air for any sign of the refugees or Andre. Almost immediately, the piercing howl of one of the Garu rang out in alert as we raced to their location. Ooh, what? Oh, I love that. I love it. I love this art so much. It's so scary. I love it. Shrouded mist, the hard-packed forest floor transformed to viridescent moss and murky peat that grasped at our paws as if attempting to drag us down to its depths. I love it so much. Stay at this cairn and hang out with your best friend, the trees. You're saying that like that's not exactly what I would do given the choice. Both in this game and in real life. An enormous sprawling marshland. On either side, the silver of the border wall gleamed in the moonlight. A yawning maw of emptiness spanned between it where the marshlands had heedlessly interrupted the wall's path. I sniffed the air, catching the scent of a large group of humans on the other side. We instantly took off, dashing through the waters to cross the Belarusian border. Reaching the shore, we headed straight back into the forest, the scent growing stronger and stronger. We soon spotted a group of refugees heading our way, several grim-faced Belarusian guards accompanying them. Let's murder them all. The guards, I mean, not the refugees. The guards must have guided them here. I searched frantically among them, relief mingling with worry as my gaze found Tarek, his normally well-maintained beard and hair grown long and shaggy, and a pinched, worried look on his face. I needed to get close without the guards noticing. Lose all my rage. Wait here, I hissed to the others before shifting back to my Hamid form. Thankfully, in the darkness and chaos, no one noticed another refugee as I sidled up to Tarek. Hello, Tarek, I said quietly as he stared at me, disbelief mingling with fear on his face. Samira, how did you find us? He shook his head. It doesn't matter. You need to leave, now. I felt my anger rising as I retorted. It's too late for that, so just listen. I glanced around, saying in a low voice, We believe your group is in danger. We need to go elsewhere. Tarek instantly shook his head as he responded. It will not be possible to convince them not to cross when we are so close. We broke through the tree line, the marshlands spreading wide before us. I opened my mouth to angrily retort when a piercing howl burst across the sky. From out across the waters, a pack of wolves emerged from the Poland side, a hispo with blazing blue eyes at the helm. The wolf father pack had arrived. This was a little, like, They should have held off, I think, on this image. Like, this imagery is amazing. They should have held off on this just a little bit. Just because it sort of gave it away. I mean, not that you couldn't see what was going to happen, but they should have waited just a little bit for this imagery. Okay. Oh, God. Confront Andre and the Wolffather Pack. Protect the refugees. Confront... You know what? We have one dead brother that we didn't protect. And I'm going to actively not protect the refugees to see if we can end this with 2 dead brothers. Here we go. This is the sadness run. This is the full Hirano run. I was at full Hirano through, I think, most of this game. I'm only at 2 now. Let's see. Let's see if we can just get the worst ending. Let's see if we can get another 0% at the end. Alexander, I, and a group of Garu took off, leaving more than enough behind to protect the refugees while we raced back across the marshlands. Ooh, we could fight Andre personally or fight the Wolffather Pack. I want to fight Andre personally. I want to go toe-to-toe with him. Honestly. A group of us would fight Andre while the others took on the Wolffather Pack. I just want to beat his ass. I do not know who that is, Mr. Bill, but I believe you in that art being of that type. I don't know anything about art. It's totally dumb about it. Look, he didn't want us to help him, so we're just respecting his wishes. Thank you! Exactly, just like when he didn't want me to call him, and I didn't, and I got a 0% that literally no one picked that option. I mean... I'm just all about boundaries. I'm not. Dark sigils. Andre towered high, a hispo of pure white fur whose blue eyes shone with a dark, intelligent madness. A cruel grin split across his face as he watched me approach. I howled a furious challenge before breaking into a reckless sprint. This ended tonight. Alexander intercepted me. And then and all of a sudden, I hear this grating, annoying. Why? I'm so over. Oh, God. He was my boyfriend. Alexander darted in front of me. Yes. I headbutted him aside, continuing my dash forward. Thank you. Fury drove my steps as I snapped at Andre with my fangs, yet he was too fast and easily dodged out of the way. I would not be stopped, however, and I leapt again, ducking beneath his swing. This time, claws met flesh as he let out a pained snarl. Ouch. He immediately retaliated with a powerful blow that knocked me to the ground. Head ringing, I warily retreated a few paces back. Eyes glinting at the insanity as the insanity danced merrily within, Andre roared into the night, the thunderous sound booming across the marshlands. Andre's head jerked forward as his limbs began to twitch. With a sharp cracking of bones and another earth-splitting roar, Andre shifted up higher, as his body transformed into a monstrous Krynos unlike any I had ever seen. His body rippled with bulging muscles as he flexed black claws, each as long as a wolf paw. A series of abhorrent symbols in a sinister infernal black were etched into his very skin. A berserk Arun, a fearsome warrior of the cult of Fenris who destroys all in their path. Christ. My rage and hatred narrowed to a finely controlled fury as I shape-shifted form. Doot. I gotta do it. I was Krynos, the war form. I grew, roaring in exultation. I was an 8-foot-tall killing machine. Let's hope so. Let's honestly hope so. It's a full moon tonight. Andre took a single ground-shaking step forward before he abruptly disappeared. I need to wrap my throat here. Oh, the caves in France. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. The cave art in France. Thank you. As I said, I am very dumb. A roar sounded as he reappeared in front of me, whipping a clawed hand through the air. Without thinking, I instinctively dodged out of the way. Shit, I recognized this gift, closing the gap. By skillfully skirting the umbra, he was able to cross distances in the blink of a blazing blue eye. He took another step forward before disappearing once more. Andre reappeared at my side and attempted to bite down on me, but my claws slashed into his flank. I let out an earth-shattering roar in challenge. I'm gonna die. He instantly retaliated, his claws whistling through the air. I twisted away, but even in my Krynos form, he was too strong, too mad with power as his gleaming silver claws raked across my side. I let out an agonizing roar of pain. My wounds, which should have normally already started to heal, remained fresh, blood streaming out in rivulets from the gashes. How many fucking gifts did he have? I recognized this one as Silver Claws and felt a panic begin writhing within me. I suck. While his arm was still moving, Alexander leapt forward, slicing deep into Andre's flank. I was close behind, eager for battle. Darting past Andre's attack, I bit deep into his flesh, blood exploding in my mouth. This was my kill. Andre bellowed furiously and lashed out, striking me heavily across the chest and sending me skidding back a few paces. Adrenaline roared in my ears as I furiously leapt back into the fray, ignoring the pain and the blood to deal blow after blow. Despite his newfound powers, Andre stood no chance against us all. For every blow he struck, we gave back tenfold. Chest heaving, his strikes became slower and slower, his white fur now matted with blood as the red in his eyes dimmed. Good. Judgment. I dealt a powerful, bloodied blow to his chest. Andre let out a muted roar before collapsing to the ground, panting heavily. Kneeling down, I dealt a powerful blow to the back of Andre's head as his body went still. The Sept could deal with him. See, had I been given the choice, I might have executed him right here. All right, I'll deal with that in a minute. Let me just finish this and then I'll deal with that in a minute. It's hard for me to do it. I don't have a moderator on here. 93% because I'm almost done. So annoying. Bots are annoying. I would like to murder him. I want to kill him. The night ended as dawn rose over the ancient primeval forest. I had raced back, the scent of blood filling the air. Flying across the marshland, heart racing, I had at last skidded to a halt. The bodies of the Wolffather pack floated amidst the dark waters, our Garus standing nearby, savagely triumphant in their victory. We had eventually found the refugees amidst the forest, and I had tearfully reunited with Tarek. Guiding them across the border, we had taken them to the cairn where the Sept had helped them find safety and the start of a new life in Poland. We had informed the other Garu of the events that had taken place. See, he's fine. And I am completely overjoyed. I have no sadness, full willpower, no rage, really low on health though. I'm injured badly. Eventually, Tarek and I had returned to Warsaw and Kadja's embrace. No, let me stay in the forest. Andre's brief reign of terror had ended. Why can't I execute him myself? First, what is the line? What is one of the litany? The something goes to the greatest, well, goes to the greatest of station. The first kill goes to the greatest of station, something like that. Andre had been brought before the Sept, who had decided that this time he would undergo the rite of silver death, a punishment reserved for those who had murdered their own kind without provocation. Ilona had recited his crimes while we had silently watched the strength drain from Andre's body. Ooh, well, at least someone does the death blow. At last, Ilona had stepped forward, dealing the death blow with a single strike of her clave. Every day my Hirano faded little by little. Bash the fash. Beat the game by confronting a hate group. We had done it. We had stopped Andre and his pack and returned safely to Warsaw. This time I had not failed my family and my kin. Aw. Eventually I was able to find a job within my field while my weekends were split between helping out Victoria at Apocalypsa and doing volunteer work with the refugees. For although my life had settled into a bright, comforting paradise, the hellish despair and the ongoing purgatory of the border were never far from my mind. But I was a werewolf, a Garu. Rage burned bright as I vowed to protect humanity once more and destroy all who would harm them. Awesome. You saved Tarek, 100%. Everyone saves Tarek. Alexander survived, 100%. Oh, man. Andre was captured, 37%. Yeah, well, I didn't get the option to murder him myself because I suck. You saved the refugees, 100%. You survived, 100%. So now I am very curious if I could maybe perhaps not. Yeah, I will get to banning. I'm so sorry. We are the 100%. I perhaps come gather beneath Luna's light, sit upon the heart of the cairn, listen to the story of Samira Romani, known among the Garo as Zohal of the Glasswalkers, Theurge of the Pack. First in a battle and last one standing, the spirits honored her with their guidance and aid. No honor, though. She had fought and won. Against the despair that haunts the Garo, Samira chose to help Alexander uncover the dark secrets behind Andre and the Wolffather Pack. Pat's investigation into the supernatural murder of Emmerich the Glassbroker remains is yet unsolved. Pat, honey, I'm so sorry. I regret immediately not picking you, babe. So sorry about it. Samira's future is bright as she rejoins the Sept to battle both human and worm-infested foes alike. While the border crisis remains ongoing, she is determined to protect and save her fellow refugees, hoping for the day when her aid is no longer required. The border crisis between Poland and Belarus began in 2021 and remains ongoing to this day. The game was loosely inspired by those events. All characters and events make the game arc entirely fictitious. Yep. All right, so it makes me super curious of what I can do. This is, yeah, hang on, let me just do this. Of what I can do, put window mode back on. For achievements, like what achievements are around. Can I check on Steam? Well, let me do that. 1 second. Let me switch to my other screen really quick while I check. Oh, hell yeah. I've only gotten like 27% of the achievements or something. That's crazy. So yeah, so there's tons of different options to go in, obviously. I mean, you know, because you think like there's the Alexander path and there's the Pat path, but obviously there's more branching into those things because I didn't even make a third of the achievements in one run. So obviously I'm going to have to play it again to get all the achievements because that is the type of person that I am. But this was super fun to play. I really enjoyed the story. I'm really happy that I was able to do the completely sad playthrough where I just kept going for Hirano. That was super fun. I wish I had been more successful in the ending fight. I don't know what would have made me more successful. Maybe different choices or something. Or if I had stopped and listened to Alexander, yuck. But yeah, I had a really great time playing this game. I'm super excited to play more. I hope they do some updates for the little bugs and sort of spelling errors that are sort of littered throughout the game. But the artwork was absolutely outstanding. Just as good, if not better, than Heart of the Forest. So, and I love the setting. Warsaw is, such a city with such a rich and compelling history. But yeah, thank you, everybody. I'd hate to make this so short. But more rage. Yeah, next week it's time to return to Sierra and the WTF arc. Yeah, I'm super excited to go back to Book of Hungry Names. I want to finish that so bad. Man, that's the longest choice of games game ever. And like that is also a factual statement. It's taken me forever to get through it. I do love the game gave you so much willpower at the end that we just didn't use. I didn't need it. So much of this game was spent with me not having any willpower, and they give me 5 willpower at the end, and there was no option for me to use it, which made me feel like the best werewolf ever, like I always feel playing these games. Yes, so we're back with Sierra on Thursday. I'm super excited. I'm super stoked. Can't wait. Maybe I can finish that game by the end of the summer. Who knows? Maybe if I'm really good. But thank you everyone so much for joining me. I'll ban that bot. And yeah, this has been amazing. And I can't wait... next after Book of Hungry Names, or probably if I'm still playing it, we also have Vampire the Masquerade, Reckoning of New York coming soon as well. So I'm excited to play that for you all. But yeah, thank you so much. And I will see you on next week. Have an awesome weekend, everyone. Sorry for the short stream.